Today, I'm going to share with you 3 tips to faster vocal mastery. You ready? The first is your brain. The brain is the beginning of all things. Science has taught us a lot over the last several decades about how we learn, how we process information, and how our voice works. So it all starts with the brain. And in order to master your voice faster, you've got to train your brain. Train it to do what, you ask? Well, let's talk about it for just a moment. We learn through a combination of muscle memory and sensory input. This is why we like watching babies and baby animals so much because they have zero muscle memory. It is all sensory input. Everything is exciting and new. When you were a baby and your eyes started to focus and you discovered you had these things, and these things could do this. Oh, that meant they could grab stuff. And you started grabbing whatever you could grab. That all went into a folder on the desktop of your brain called Pick Things Up. And it started to become muscle memory. So every time you went to pick something up, you didn't have to relearn it. Then you pick something up, say, like a cup with milk in it, and it spills. Now you have new sensory input. So you have to refine that motor skill and create some new muscle memory to go into that folder. Well, the same thing is true with singing. You came into the world making sound. You started screaming and crying, and little by little, you started to make sounds and then talk and then sing. And maybe you grew up singing around a campfire or to the radio. Maybe you were in choir at school. Maybe you took voice lessons or ran musical theater. Whatever it is, all that information about singing, whether formally learned or informally learned, went into a folder on the desktop of your brain called Sing. And every time you want to sing, your brain goes right back into that folder and does what it knows. So when you want to learn something new or refine something that's already there, you are fighting against that muscle memory. Those ruts are deep. And the older you are, the deeper they are. So we have to train our brains to bypass muscle memory. Have you ever been like riding your bike and you're stuck in that little groove next to the sidewalk? Your bike comes off the sidewalk, gets stuck there, and you try to just turn gently back onto the sidewalk and it doesn't work, right? You get all unsteady. Maybe you fall down. In order to get back on the sidewalk, you have to go further away and then come from a completely different angle. Well, this is what we have to train our brains to do. We have to sort of shut the Sing folder off for a little while and learn new skills through sensory input. Okay? So that's the first thing is we have to train our brain. The second thing, in order to master your voice faster, is you need effective and consistent practice. Duh, Hillary, we've always known that. True, we do know. But what is effective practice? Again, studies have taught us a lot over the last couple of decades about what makes effective practice, particularly for singers. And what we now know is that sitting down and dedicating practice time all the time to singing is not the best way. Yes, we do need dedicated time, but we also will learn much faster if we find little random intentional moments of vocal work throughout our day. And the more playful that work is, the faster we will learn it. Play cuts learning time by something like 90%. So the more we can incorporate play into our practice, the faster we're going to learn it. What I mean by randomized intentional practice is finding little moments throughout your day. Maybe you're driving in your car, maybe you're doing the dishes, maybe you're sitting outside on the back deck, whatever, to just do a simple vocal thing for 30 seconds to a minute with intention, but just short, little snippet of intentional work. Doing that starts to develop those new brain patterns much faster than if you're just dedicating time every day or every other day. And then finally, you need regular and frequent feedback. And by frequent, I don't mean once a week at your voice lesson or once every other week at your coaching session. I mean, as you practice and improve, you need feedback that moves you along. Otherwise, you're waiting a week between feedback and everything's going to take longer. So we need to put ourselves in a situation where we can get feedback every couple of days instead of just once a week or twice a month. Those are the most important keys to faster vocal mastery. If you would like to know more about how to do all these things, type more in the comments or DM me and introduce yourself.